Hello and welcome. My name is Stefan Poschik from CHC Corporate Health Consulting, and you're listening to our newest CHC expert interview. Today, I have an amazing guest, and I'm so proud that he takes the next couple of minutes to do this interview with me, because he has built tremendous things, not only in the corporate world, but also as an entrepreneur and also with acquiring companies. So hello and welcome, Jeffrey Hayzlett. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Yes, I'm chairman of the C-Suite Network, of course, host of All Business with Jeffrey Hayzlett on C-Suite TV, C-Suite Radio. I'm a former host of my own show on Bloomberg Television, CBS Television here in the States, and then a former Fortune 100 officer, former CMO of Eastman Kodak a number of years ago. Serve on about 14 different corporate boards today, and just enjoying myself.
That's really, really awesome. Yeah. And so let's jump right into this. So you did so many different things in the entrepreneurial world, but also in the corporate world. And what I also know from former conversations is you acquired hundreds of companies and sold them. So what of these three major things, so the corporate world, the entrepreneurial world, or also this buy and sell world, what was most exciting for you?
Well, they're all different and all exciting for different reasons. You know, I bought and sold over 250 companies, about 25 billion in transaction as I was, working my way through corporate. At that time, back then, I was working with a company that we actually rolled up the companies and took them public. I've done about 3 roll-ups in my career. About to look at doing another one. I'm going to be down in Dallas this week looking at another acquisition and roll-up that we're going to be doing here in the States. So I help people, find money, do that, serve on the boards, and in some cases serve not only as an officer of the company, but also doing a lot of the work. I just finished up with a new Hispanic company that I served as the chief revenue officer and chief marketing officer, got the team up and running. Once the team's up and running, I can go off into the pasture, right off into the sunset like a cowboy on a horse into the west, so which is great. And that kind of gets back, Stephen, to asking what was the funnest. I will tell you the most that I learned in my career was when I was at Kodak as a chief marketing officer. And I learned a great deal about zeros that you put on the ends of numbers. As an entrepreneur, you hope to do that. But sometimes I don't know if we always think big enough, but certainly at Kodak, I had to think big because, the numbers were just huge, billions of dollars that I was in charge of and having to do. And then, here I, from an entrepreneur perspective, you might be just worried about making payroll. Well, there I was worried about, making the quarter or making the year. With billions and billions in the budget. But I did learn a lot there. But, down to earth, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always looking at how to make money, how to serve others, how to solve a problem, and do the things you have to do to be a great business leader, a great entrepreneur.
That's really remarkable. So you mentioned something really interesting a couple of seconds ago. So entrepreneurs probably don't think big enough. Why do you think this is so, and how can they think bigger?
Well, sometimes I think we're focused on the task at hand, like getting the bathrooms cleaned or getting the keeping the doors open, that you sometimes can't think ahead. So it's important for as an entrepreneur, you're always looking big, looking broad, and you're thinking like, I can solve this problem for the world, rather than just getting the bills paid, getting the mailing out, getting your marketing campaign done, the things that you just weigh you down every day. You can't work a 40-hour work week and be an entrepreneur. There's just no such thing. And I just think it's important for you to have to keep in mind, about thinking big and acting bigger and growing that business into what it could be, not what it is.
Definitely. Yeah. So is this also something what you are doing with the C-Suite network? Because I had the honor to attend already an event, and I was invited from your side. So thank you really a lot, because I already attended a lot of different networks, and to be honest, most of them are boring, and the people and the quality of the network is just okay. Let me frame it like this. Yeah. But the event I attended where you invited me was just awesome. I mean, I already are in more contact with a couple of people from this one event, and the level and the quality of the conversation and the network, what was possible in your event, was just really, really awesome. So what is the C-suite network, and why is this so important for you?
My son's the chief marketing officer of the company. And, one of the best things he says, our job is to, solve the problem, take away the pain of things. And that's he was always asking, like, when we're trying to do something or offer a service, what problem are we solving? Well, with the C-suite network, I found that, C-suite executives like to hang out with C-suite executives, and we like to hang out with trusted executives. We like to be with other trusted people. And to do that, you got to put the right kinds of people in the room. And that's what the C-suite network's about. So it's a place where you can come and take off the armor, walk in and have great discussions, a little education, some motivation, some inspiration, but as you said, a chance at monetization if you get engaged. And that's the key piece of it. So we have over 350,000 people have opted into this network. We have millions that have downloaded our podcast. We have over 450 podcasts, dozens and dozens of TV shows, hundreds and hundreds of thought leaders and authors and speakers and coaches that are part of the network who serve the C-suite. And of course, many, many tens of thousands of C-suite executives who are interactive and part of it every single week. And we get together online. We used to get together a lot more in person before COVID, but now after COVID is over, we're starting to see that come back. So we're starting to do a lot of personal events. This week we'll be in Dallas, we'll be in Oklahoma City, we'll be in Florida, we'll be in New York. So we've got a lot of different things going on, over 300 activities that you can participate. You can't get to everything, but it's a great place to come and be a part of it. And that, the person's in the square next to you, or, above, below, or, in the corner. You never know if they're $1 billion business or they're a brand new entrepreneur or coach or trainer. And you don't know if they're being successful or they're being or struggling. But it's a great place for everybody to come together. And our job isn't to make you the smartest person in the room. Our job is to make you the most strategic person in that room. And that's really what we try to do. And a big part of it is to help you focus in on where you want to go and how you want to get there, and to build that brand of you, Stephen, which is important. Sell you, as you know this, content. Content is king, activation's queen, but context is the kingdom. So what we do is try to help provide you with a way in terms of sell you as well.
That's really awesome. And that's why I loved also this event so much. So when you personally want to connect or want to reach out to a star in the business world, or to somebody you cannot reach out to directly, how do you approach this when you want to get connected with somebody who is out of reach from your direct personal network at the moment?
Well, if you're in the C-suite network, then you're in the direct connection because you're part of the C-suite. So if you're a VP or higher, that's where we draw you. VP, higher, partner, owner, CEO, CFO, CIO, you chief revenue officer, chief sales officer, chief strategy officer, chief information officer. That's what we represent. Now, personally, if you're of the stature of being an executive in a major company, you can reach out to people. Just pick up the phone and do that. I've done that so many times in my career where people say, well, like I remember Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was a business person before he became president, we were looking to do a show with him, and someone said, we can't reach out to him. I said, pick up the phone and call him. And literally within 20 minutes, I had him on the phone. So you can do those kinds of things if you want to. So, don't be afraid to do it. Just pick up the phone and make it happen, or write the email or so forth. Now, the best way, Stephen, by far, is to be able to have someone do it for you, a recommendation, an introduction from someone from the trusted network. And that's really what this is about. So it's, today a business can put up a website and you don't know if they're good or they're bad, if they're, they just might have a great website designer. Today we have people who are 19 years old saying they're life coaches. They're not life coaches, they're teen coaches. Okay. So, it's important for us to be able to have trusted networks and people that we like. And so that's what's really a great way to be able to do it. So my encouragement is you say, hey, who knows that CEO XYZ? Oh, I see Jeff does. Jeff, would you do me a favor? Well, of course I will. If you're part of my trusted network, and I can say, hey, he's a friend of mine. I've done business with him. I haven't done business with him, but I've had great conversations with him, and this is how he's represented himself. Let me introduce you. I think the two of you can at least try to figure it out and see if there's something there.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
100%. I love it. Thank you. So at the situation, I know so many people who get into our coaching or into our CHC Academy who are entrepreneurs, but also searching for investment money or seed money or money contributions or something like that. So you are tremendously experienced in this world on acquiring companies and also supporting companies on getting investors on board. So what's your suggestion on how you should approach an investor when you are talking about smaller amounts? So for example, 250K to 1 million.
Well, 250K to 1 million, you've got to really look at your own personal network for that. I mean, if the friends around you, your friends and family, and those that know you best aren't investing in you, there's probably an issue. So the first thing we're going to look at is that. And then some people are a little reluctant, say, I don't want to ask my friends and family. Well, then you better have a really good trusted network then to be able to reach out to and be able to pull that. Because before you get to institutional investors, before you get to, people who are, swinging with real money, swinging bats with real money. And when I'm talking about real money, I'm talking about tens of millions or, because I go, I'm out raising money here, 20 million here, 17 million here, 3 million here, and doing that on a weekly basis. And to know those people, you've got to have a fairly extensive network and a track record that really works. So they want to go with that track record. Until then, you're really going to have to work your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, and then other associates you've worked with in the past before you get that track record. If you have the track record, it's going to be relatively easy. But until then, I want to know that other people that you care about are on the line, and it's going to motivate you even more than you're motivated to get it done.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So we talked a lot about this business stuff. So what are you in general most excited about at the moment? Because you're doing so many different things, but what excites you most?
Right now I'm really helping people get ready for this recession. The recession's going to hit us, and history teaches us that there's a lot of great opportunities out there. I mean, you can go back through the recessions, 1907. I'm talking about the U.S. recessions, but usually when the U.S. has a recession, the world has a recession. But back in 1907, one of the first ones, General Motors was born. 1939, Hewlett Packard. 1953, Burger King. 1958, Hyatt hotels. Trader Joe's in 73. In 1975, we had another recession. Apple was born. 1980, CNN, and I can keep going on. There's winners and losers in every single recession. And then there's been some huge unicorns. And so right now, back during COVID, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I couldn't even sew a mask. But I said, look, we've got to be business first responders. We're going to have to help people handle this recession, or not the recession, but COVID. And now with the recession, I think we're going to see some others. But don't forget, during the darkest times, we've seen some unicorns that were born. Think back in 1975, Microsoft, 1982, Electronic Arts, iRobot, 1990, Airbnb in 2008, Slack in 2009, WhatsApp in 2009, Square 2009, Uber 2009, Instagram 2010, Pinterest 2010. These are unicorns. Yeah. During dark economic times were born. So it's possible. And so right now, that's what consuming my time is to, one, get my own business ready, and I've just recently put out an ebook. And if anyone emails me, I'll be glad to send you the ebook right away. And also a link to a new television series that I did around the recession. I had some of the greatest economists in the world. And the best piece of advice I got off of that was never catch a thrown knife. And he said, and he was using the recession. That's Art Laffer, the father of Reaganomics, or the Laffer curve. He's a great predictor of what's happening out there. And everybody's saying it's here, it's coming, or it's coming. That we're in it. It's not going to be as tough as we said, but during even these times, you've got to really work hard. You've got to get out there and do the things you're going to need to do in order to survive, not just survive, to thrive. And that's what we want to do. During the darkest times, there have been some great businesses that have been born. And during, certainly during COVID, there were some tough ones. So email me and I'll send you a link to that interview and also a free ebook.
Definitely. We will definitely post your email address so people can reach out to you. How are you preparing your business, or what should a healthy business have at the moment to be prepared and benefit from the recession?
Well, access to as much cash as you possibly can, right? So that's
so access
one.
to you, and you can help them, right?
Yeah, well, or
okay, I'm the first on the list.
Yeah, you're going to find a lot of great buys out there. You're going to find a lot of great partnerships, and I think you have to keep your mind open for that. And the partnerships can be different than the way they have in the past, because you and I could partner together and bring something different to the table. I could white label your product. You could do that product. I could do some extra marketing for you. There's lots of different ways that we can partner together, and that's, I think, one of the biggest things that we're getting ready is that, look, how can we take advantage of the opportunities that are going to be before us? And then what do we have to do that's a little different? And so, we're just gearing up. We're doing our best. We learned a lot during COVID in terms of how to do that with the C-Suite network. We learned that a lot of people were wanting more content. So we're looking for more podcasters. If you have a podcast show, we want to put you on the C-Suite network. We're growing at 170%. And we want to continue that growth. And, typically if someone brings their podcast to our network, look, first of all, you're not in podcast purgatory, just alone by yourself with everybody else, with a million other podcasts, as opposed to being a part of a network, a headliner. And then we typically will grow your podcast by at least 40% and sell advertising on it as well. So there's a chance for you to make some good money and get known better. Now, what's wrong with that?
Awesome. Nothing is wrong. It's just remarkable that you put so many things together and everything is available through your C-Suite network. Last question from my side. What's your vision for the future? Where do you want to go personally, but also with the C-Suite?
Well, I'm adding zeros right now. That's the biggest thing is just hyperscale. That's where I want to go, hyperscale. We intend, to build a big network, and our network is what we call the Sequoia effect. And if you've ever been in a redwood forest, you walk into a big, beautiful redwood forest, Sequoia forest, and there's these huge trees with these large canopies. And underneath this is a lush ecosystem. Well, that's the C-Suite network, just like Amazon, just like Facebook, just like LinkedIn. And our intent is to build this ecosystem for people to have a lush ecosystem to operate in a trusted environment to help them, monetize their business as much as possible, get their hyper growth, and achieve the kind of goals that they want with their business and in their lives. That's all I care about doing.
That's awesome. I love this. And I definitely going to help you because I love this vision behind it. So I'm sure a lot of people want to know more about you and also more about the C-Suite network. So what's the best way to connect with you or reach out to you?
Well, my email is right here on the screen, jeffrey.hayzlett@c-suitenetwork.com. Reach out to me directly. That's my email. I'll be responding to you. I don't pawn that off to anyone else. So I'll be back if I can help you in any way. And then I'll send you an invitation to come and join us. Come be a part of it. Look on our website, csuitenetwork.com, and you'll see the events. We have events all the time. You're welcome to come and join. We hosted a Scotch event last night. This week, we've got a couple of events, a couple of mixers in various cities that we're doing. And I'll be there. Tricia Ben, our CEO, will be there as well. And then, of course, on Friday, we do our Celebrate event every single Friday. And so many people come, and it's just a wonderful time.
That's awesome. We're definitely going to post this and let people know how they can reach out to you. Jeffrey, thank you so much for your time and all these awesome insights. I wish you a lot of success, and the world needs what you are doing and what you are building with the C-Suite network. So I'm so happy that something like this is out there. So, and for all of you listeners out there, definitely take a look, connect with Jeffrey, and definitely connect with the C-Suite network. Take care and a lot of success.
Thank you very much. You would keep up the great work too. It's great to be able to connect with such great, talented executives like yourself. This is how it works, the way it works. And folks, it's hard because it's supposed to be hard. So get out there and do the hard work.
Definitely. That's it. I couldn't say it better. Yeah, go out, do something great, and see you next time. Bye for now.